Hello.
Welcome to another episode of the Tabletop Trio Podcast. I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And we've got a good one for you today. We just got back from Philly.
So fun.
It was quite the experience.
It was a hefty weekend. There was a lot going on this weekend.
A lot going on, but we're going to recap everything we saw, everything we did over the 2.5 days.
Give or take, yes.
3 days. We'll get into it.
Yeah, a lot happened.
Got a lot of cool stuff.
Indeed.
We're going to go in depth with that.
So some of it's back here. Some of it's over here.
We interviewed some of the coolest freaking people.
It was...
And got to chat with the people who have the coolest jobs ever.
Yeah, no, hands down.
Like, the fact that they get to sit there and play board games as a job.
Well, that, and they were like,
how did you
get into this? And they're just like, well, we liked it, so we did. And I was like, yeah,
that's just the dream, literally the absolute dream. Like,
yeah, they did it.
So good.
Congratulations.
So good. But yeah, we had an awesome time at PAX in Philly. PAX Unplugged was this past week, and they announced it's going back to Philly next year.
Really?
December 4th through the 6th. So you can pencil us in for that.
Hopefully, yes.
Unless, maybe I spend the birthday weekend. Fuck it. Birthday weekend playing board games. Let's go. But yeah, no, that was so much fun.
Yeah, the size of the venue was like, because I'd never been to PAX Unplugged or anything, and I was like, oh, it's just gonna be like a shitload of vendors and maybe like, a little bit of table. I didn't realize it was like half table, half vendors.
Oh yeah.
Like there was so much happening. Which it was just like you just kept walking, and as you walked you were like, oh, and then there's that thing that wasn't I here already? How did I not see that before?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was that, and none of that. So it took place at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, which is right there, smack dab in the middle of Center City in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. It's where they have the Philly Auto Show. They have the Flower Show that's like world famous. That goes on there as well. There are just so many events that take place in this place.
Yeah.
And it took over the entire convention center.
Yeah, whole thing.
Not just like the main exhibit hall or hall A, B, C. It was all three exhibition halls, plus the auxiliary area, plus the entry, like the grand entrance they used.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
It was everywhere. It covered so many city blocks of Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, getting in was wrapped around the entire building.
Yeah, and full disclosure, the week before PAX, I threw my back out like an idiot. I stood up. And my back's like, no. So I was dealing with that and walking around the city. We took the train in, walking around the city. Didn't do too great for my back.
Not so much, no.
At all. But I survived-ish. And when we got there, we got to the entrance that I took last year. Mm-hmm. Because last year they had everyone enter down, I guess... It's hard to describe on camera where it was, but for Joe, when where like the media area is, where we came in after we got lunch the first day.
Yeah, it was like one of the sides of the building.
It was all the way down that side. Like if you kept following the building down, it was all the way down that way instead of the grand entrance that we went in this year.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of walking.
So when we got there, I'm like, all right, Joe, we're going to go this way. Because I know Philly fairly well. Used to work in the city, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, Joe, we're going to go here. Mm-hmm. We get there. They're like, oh, no, the entrance to pick up your badge is at 12th and Market, which is like 3 blocks south.
Yeah, which is basically where we came from.
Yeah. We got off the train at 8th and Market. And we walked up a couple of blocks on 8th and then across the street.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, you got to go back to Market.
Yep.
So whatever, no big deal. We walked there. we get to one of the purple shirt enforcer people, and they're like, all right, everyone gets in the same line, but the line starts that way.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, cool. So we follow the line. We make a right. Line's still going. We make another right. The line's still going.
Mm-hmm.
We make a third right. Line's still going. And we find the end of the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the entrance of the building.
It's right next to the start of the line. It literally snaked around the building.
Around the entirety of the block.
And then around, once you got to the entrance again, it did like a little swoop, and then people were walking in the other direction to go basically back around the building again.
Yeah. It was like watching the real life human version of Snake.
Yeah.
On the old Nokia phones.
Yeah, it was a lot of people waiting.
And it was one of those things where we got there, and thank God we were behind a couple of vendors.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got in there, and there was another enforcer there, and they're like, hey, we're vendors. Can we go in? And he's just like, yeah, go ahead. Like,
Yeah.
It was one of those, like, real subtle. And Joe and I are behind him. We're like, hey, we're meaty. He goes, go for it.
Yeah. So we just skirted in.
God,
knows,
it was great.
Which, like, I don't want to be that person, but we had interviews lined up.
We did. We were genuinely afraid we were going to miss our first interview at 11.
Yeah,
we tried to get there. We got
there like what, 9:30?
at 9:30.
Yeah, we thought we'd have plenty of time. But like 9:30, we'll get in. We'll get in around 10:15, and then we'll get everything going, and then
get the
we'll
lay of the land.
Yeah, we'll hook up our camera stuff. I'll get all strapped up, and then we're ready to go. And then we just keep following the line, and I was like, Bob, if we have to wait in this line, I think we're gonna have to cancel the interview.
Yeah, and we're both freaking out. So thank you so much to the enforcer that was right out front and just said, yeah, go for it. You're good.
Yeah, who let media and vendors through,
Oh,
because that would have been. We were canceling that first.
Yeah. And we weren't looking like some kind of schmucks. They're like, oh yeah, we're totally media, right?
Yeah.
We had shit.
I had my full backpack worth of equipment. As we were walking, there were a couple ladies who were walking by the street, and there were a bunch of people in line just holding cameras and stuff, because whether you're media or not, you're going to be recording PAX stuff. It's a lot.
Well, especially even if you're a YouTuber that doesn't have YouTube or doesn't have media credentials, you're still going to go.
Right. Still content, still stuff. And there were people walking around, and she's like, oh, are you a YouTuber? Like, I seen you on the internet. I watch stuff like this all the time. And then, that was like a couple guys with like the stick gimbals and stuff like that. And we were right behind her following for a while. And when we went to go turn, she went to go turn out, and she noticed my backpack full of stuff. And she was like, oh, you do that too? And I was like, yeah, we're media. We're going in now. She's like, oh, where can I find your stuff? I handed her one of the cards.
All of our social media links are
right here now.
There.
Right there. Right there. Which you might have noticed. New overlay.
You can see more of me, which may or may not be a good thing.
It's this way now. As I went like this and realized nothing is there anymore. So it looks fresh. It looks clean.
It does. I really like it.
We are bigger. We are more of us on the screen.
More of us for your screen.
You're welcome. Or something.
Emotional, damn it.
Just not great. But so we finally get into PAX, and we're standing in line. We finally make our way through, and Joe almost murders like 5 people with his tripod.
Yeah.
You looked like, so you know the Legend of Zelda games. You know the traveling merchant beetle? Who's like a giant pack, has got like shit hanging off of it.
Yeah,
and dangling
that was me.
You were literally Beetle.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't tell you how many times I'm just like, Joe, just walk in front of me, and I'm holding on to the tripod, like steering Joe, because one person behind us in the line at PAX, she's like, hey, just so you know, you almost hit me in the face like 4 times.
Yeah, that was after we were in line for like an hour, and my back started to sweat, so I took one of the straps off. So I basically had the war stick, like so I bought a monopod / tripod, and it's all aluminum, and it goes to like 7 feet high or something.
It's a stupid height.
But when it's all shrunk down, it's about 3 feet. So I had it in front of my bag in like a little spot in the front, so it's not in the bag, it's like in front of the bag. And it was just kind of hanging just about to here above my back. And I thought I had it straight up in the air, but it turns out as we were walking and traveling and train and all that, it started to just kind of like lean. So then at some point it was just off to the left. And then once I took the other strap off to kind of like cool my spine, that's when it was just way out there. It was
just flailing in the wind, right at eye level too.
It was right at eye level. But the MVP of the whole weekend recording was the tripod.
It really
It was so worth it because, usually we bring like the big tripod that we normally bring everywhere. And it's plastic. It doesn't weigh a lot, but it's plastic and it doesn't work that great. Some of the pieces have been over-tightened to try to make it stay, and so they have snapped. So we kind of just hope for the best when we use them.
Mm-hmm.
This new one is full aluminum. It feels super sturdy, but it only needs like 8 inches of ground to put like the tripod feet down. And in PAX, when there were that many people walking around,
my God.
it was just, we would have never been able to use the regular tripod, which needs about 3-ish feet in all directions. People would have been knocking into it left and right.
Oh yeah, and it was great too with how not cramped, but how confined and tight space was, especially at some of the not smaller vendors, but some of the vendors who only paid for like
the smaller
the 10
booths.
by 10 booth.
Yeah,
that probably would have been next to impossible if we had one of our like old tripods that we used for like Boston and the other Salt shows.
Yeah, like going forward, I will never use any other tripod for live events. That thing was just, and then I could pack it back up, like I said, to about 2.5, 3 feet. And then I was using it for B-roll footage because I could just hold it like a wand and kind of like roll the camera around and, pick it up in the air to kind of get like scooping shots of.
Well, there was the one B-roll shot you got where you extended it all the way and then just held it straight up in the air. And you're just rotating it like this.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So
I didn't look at that footage yet. We'll see what happens.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, if I got the 360 about 10 to 12 feet into the air.
And that I think one of the coolest parts of doing PAX, aside from going around and seeing the vendors, seeing the different games, what they had to offer, what's new and what's coming, was just being able to chat with some of the vendors.
Yeah, everyone was just. I know we say it all the time, so like, sorry, but everyone was just really nice. They were just, it doesn't feel like anyone was kind of like an asshole about anything or like, this is our thing, buy it. Like it never, maybe we just got lucky with who we interviewed and what we were, but we were walking around to like kind of all the booths. Cause we had our interviews kind of set. We had our 6 interviews scheduled. But I was like, while we're there, if we're walking around, maybe, a couple of the people just want to do like, quick 5-minute interviews just live. So we were just walking around and talking to people left and right to see if they wanted to do just like on the spot interviews. And we ended up getting a couple.
Yeah, we did. And we got a lot of people who had, and it was different every single interview.
Yeah.
It wasn't the standard, so tell me about your game. How did you make it? There was a lot of other things. Like, one of the biggest things that I love talking about on the show is what you're passionate about. Like, what are you, the guest, you, the viewer, what is your passion? What is the thing you love to do? I want you to share that passion with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And going to PAX, you can see what everyone there was passionate about. Whether it's their game, their small business. We met those guys who do the laser engraving. We got to watch them laser engrave right in front of us.
Yep, did an interview there, and I got some really cool B-roll shot of them laser engraving, because when I laser engrave, it takes minutes to do anything. But they have one of them fancy laser engravers, and it took like 12 seconds.
Oh, yeah. And I think the guy was saying, I don't remember if he said it in the interview. By the way, keep an eye out on our socials, YouTube, TikTok, that kind of stuff, where we're going to be sharing the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that basically they had like a small amount of stuff, went on Kickstarter for it,
Mm-hmm.
and bought everything that we saw there.
Yeah.
With the money they made on Kickstarter.
Yeah, they said they were never negative. Everything that they got was through Kickstarter, and then have been
Able to upgrade since.
via them,
Which is so cool.
Yeah,
Like,
it's amazing.
And in today's day and age, with starting a small business and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna go into the red.
Yes.
You're gonna hit the negatives. But with them, they had some of the gear,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Oh, well, we made all of this money. Let's upgrade the gear that we have to get a better product and give us the ability to, make what we said we would make from Kickstarter."
Yeah.
And they did, and that was one of the coolest pieces of equipment I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I knew what it was about, but I still get excited about it like a 5-year-old because, laser go burr.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. Dude,
I
that's
love
me
that.
with racing.
I love that on the spot they were making custom meeples for people. So you could buy your meeple, and then they would laser engrave your name or whoever's name onto the meeple just live. And for those of you who don't know, when you've ever seen a board game piece that just looks like a normal like stick figure human that's just kind of like meh, that's a meeple. So they were basically doing custom meeple with magnetized feet, so you could just stick them places. It was the guy had it on his shoulders like parrots.
I liked they were selling straight up shoulder meeples.
Yeah,
It was so cool.
That
We should have
was-
gotten one with our logo on it
I know.
next year.
Well, we planned on going the next day, and then, that whole thing happened. So, well,
But yeah, before we get into that, Monday, what
Yes.
did we do Monday? We saw a lot of really cool things.
Monday or Friday?
Sorry, Friday,
Friday.
not Monday.
Like Monday, we did racing, and I was bad at it. After that,
Yes.
Friday.
So Friday we got in, like we said, did the whole thing. The first people we talked to were a couple of guys who have a few different board games out. And the coolest thing about it, as soon as my phone wants to actually pull up the interviews,
I believe you.
Dead Alive Games.
Yes.
They have a series of 3 games that are all in the same apocalyptic universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a cool concept because it's not post-apocalyptic like you see with like Fallout and those other games.
Right.
It was
live apocalyptic.
it was Apocalypse Now, not Mel Gibson.
That just looked like felt like an ad scene on TV.
Right?
Apocalypse now.
Now. And if you order in the next 10 minutes,
Oh, what's that thing? It's my apocalypse, and I want it now.
but and it was so cool how in that game people are getting this mysterious disease, going crazy, all that sort of thing. And they have a spin-off game for like beginners and people to get like families to get into the game universe called Cyber Pet Quest,
Yes.
where you play as a team of pets. Their owner has gone missing and started experiencing symptoms of whatever this disease is. You have to, as your pets, save your owner,
Yeah.
which is a really cool concept. And all the different pets have different abilities and
Yeah. It
all
was
that kind of stuff. It was really cool.
really interesting. Really cool concept. I think they said it was going to be out soon. I don't think it was out yet.
I think it launches on Kickstarter in January.
Yeah. So soon. So if you're
But-
interested in that,
They do have an open beta currently on Tabletop Simulator.
they do. Yes.
So you have to check it out. I'm gonna have to get Tabletop Simulator now that I have VR.
You don't need it if you don't have VR. You can just play Tabletop Simulator. However, flipping tables is so much more fun when you could actually just grab the table and flip the table instead of pressing a button. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm buying. I'm definitely gonna be buying that
I have
tonight.
it, so just let me know. But I love how many companies were on Tabletop Simulator because, I mean, the thing about Tabletop Simulator is you buy the game and then it's whatever it is, $20, I think, or something like that. It's really cheap. once you have it, everything in there is just like community mods. Like it's Steam Workshop content. It's free. They don't make any money on it. But so many board game companies said like, oh, we're working with this developer and this developer, and one of our friends is a programmer, and they're programming the game for Tabletop Simulator. And that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I love having board games, and I love like some of our friends have this game and some of our friends have this game, and everyone has like their pile, their hoard, but sometimes not everybody wants to buy 7 copies of the same game if you play with a certain group of people.
Yeah.
So I like that they kind of are just like, if you want to try it, or if you want to whatever, or if you want to beta test it, here it is on just on Tabletop Simulator. You can go play it, you can go see how you like it.
Or perfect example of that is you were telling me you've been playing Gloomhaven.
Yes. Baby's first Gloomhaven.
But you don't necessarily want to buy Gloomhaven.
Right.
Because you're already started playing it, and that's a good situation. Like,
right.
You know what? I kind of want to play Gloomhaven, but like,
yeah. So I don't want to
buy it.
It's one of those things, kind of like they're in the same position. It's an RPG style game, so you're playing a game, but it's not like Monopoly where it's one and done. You're out. The next person. Load up a whole new group of friends, you're fine. Gloomhaven is an RPG. You set your group of people, and then you start playing the game, and like you're modifying the books. Like we unlocked something through one of our plays, opening up a card. One of our players happened to match the card type, thus we got multiple choice questions. We answered the question, I guess, correctly, and then they're like, take sticker A6 or whatever and put it into, B7 on the map. So you open up the map, you take the sticker, and then you place on the map a new piece of board, which now unlocked a whole mission for us.
That's so cool.
So like, if another person comes in to play that game, you can't. You've changed it.
And now you're just like, what the hell is going on?
So I know they said like, it's one of those things where you come in and you can play over and over, but it's with different characters. So like my character might die, so another character might come in. But if you came into our game, you might start at a lower level than where we're at, or you might start at a higher level than where we're at. It's always moving. It's like that kind of like you.
That's so cool.
So it's one of those things where how many people do you know who are going to have the same copy of that game? Maybe if they had multiple people playing different groups, but like if we had our one game group playing the one game, then we only need one copy of the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's, if you like board games and if you like RPGs, there's a reason it's got like a 9.6 or something on Board Game Reviews. It is so fun. I was actually so sad because on Sunday we had an interview scheduled for one of the developers of Gloomhaven.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I told you this. I emailed them back because, family emergency, had to do the thing. They emailed me back and they were like, let me know if you want to reschedule just to like a future date and we'll do something. We'll figure out something to interview.
Perfect.
So we might still have that interview. I don't know if it'll be through Zoom or if it'll be through something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But just, really cool of them to reach out and not be like, oh, well, you lost your chance.
Yeah. Oh, well, sucks to suck.
Yeah. So
No, I think that would be so cool to do, just to kind of, talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Because Gloomhaven is super fun, and
it's,
or at least sounds like it'd be super fun.
It's super fun, but it's super in depth, and I just want to know how they figure out like the balancing and stuff like that. Because, like I said, it's basically a video game, but you're playing on a board game. But it's a video game. Like your character is leveling. You have to like keep track of your loot and buy stuff in between rounds, and then remember that for when you set the game back up. That like, oh, I need this card because I paid for it, and like it. There's so much going on in the game. It's crazy. But that I guess that brings up the the haul of the weekend.
We got a couple of things.
Just a few.
Joe, more so than me, I bought Fire Tower.
Worth it.
And I bought the deluxe edition.
You did.
So it came with the expansion that offers buckets and gems and
Yes.
a big old fire thing that's like this big. It's huge.
But I picked up the best piece of Fire Tower.
You did.
Which-
you have a
which is-
con exclusive.
The con exclusive champion card.
Oh my god.
I love that that's a thing. I absolutely love that that's a thing. I have the card. It's in my bedroom. You know, I gotta keep it safe.
Oh, of course. You have to have that thing under lock and key.
So we were talking to I guess they were the owner of the game, the developer.
Yeah, I guess they were one of the developers.
And we were talking to him for a while, and we were just and he's like, "How do you like the game?" And I'm like, "It's one of my favorites. It's the reason he's buying it."
Still have yet to play it.
And he goes, "Have you won? Like how's it going in the house?" And I was like, "Oh, we keep it in the house. The first game I won. The second game my wife won. So we keep it in the house. Victories stay here." And he started laughing, and he goes, "You know what? I don't hand these out often. I there's only so many of them in circulation. But," and he goes and he reaches back and he grabbed a con card, and it is, if you are the champion, when you start the game, you start with one extra card. And so you'll always have one extra card. But if you lose, whoever wins gets the card. So they were talking to us about how, like, some of the cards go traveling, and, like, apparently somebody lost it in an airport. Not, like, physically lost it, but, like, lost the game to a guy in an airport and thus had to give him the card. So someone was like, you should RFID track those, like, air tags so that we could.
That would be so cool.
And the guy goes, "Damn it, I wish I thought of that before I made them."
It's like, where's George on those dollar bills?
Yeah, like, he should have put, like, a QR code or something in there so you could scan it and tag, like, where it's at.
Right.
But he gave me one, and I was like, that's really cool. But that's
so cool.
I don't know, that kind of sums up the whole weekend of talking to all the vendors and stuff, is that they are just really, like, nice people who, like, oh, here's a thing, or, like, how many people just gave away pins to us? Like, oh, thanks for talking to us for, whatever here. And they gave us.
Yeah, Fire Tower gave us each pins.
I have so many pins. It's right behind the camera. There's, like, a pile of pins.
Yeah. And, like, I started putting all of them on my lanyard that I got. So we had that. We had Gnome Dad, or no, Dwarf Dad. Dwarven Dad.
Yeah.
The one cosplayer that we're hanging out with at the media table.
Yes.
Got a pin from him. Got another pin from somewhere, I don't remember. Like, it was just so cool. Like, everyone, and yeah, we talk about it all the time with the hot sauce community, how friendly and genuinely passionate everyone is.
Yeah, it was.
And they just love sharing about that, like, their passion, and sharing about their ideas, and just talking to people about it. It's so cool.
I love that we were. So we signed up for one of the interview things, and we thought it was just an interview, and it turns out we were actually beta testing a game.
I would even consider it alpha testing at this point.
So they were like, "These are the pieces we have at a playable state. It is nowhere near coming out. It is nowhere near ready. Like, some of the pieces don't even work right. They're just here because they're placeholders." It was still a really fun game.
It was awesome.
And the guy was talking about, I had this idea, and I got this from this game and this from that game. I mean, he's talking about, like, the last 35 years of games, and just pulling, like, I liked this part, and I liked that part, and I liked this part over here. And, that kind of, I guess that kind of sums up a lot of these games. Was a lot of companies are just like, I had an idea, and I went with it.
Yeah.
And people liked it.
Yeah. And the game is called Star Driven, and they said it should be out on Kickstarter next year. And it's you're basically exploring space.
Yeah.
There was this ancient race that left all this technology in the universe and vanished. And now all the different colonies and groups of people are searching the universe for this technology,
Right.
and it's your job to go out and find it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the base story of the game. And
It was simple but complicated, which is like the perfect kind of, you can get in going easy, like really simple, but to master the game, you're going to have to play it more than once.
yeah,
I fucked up real bad on mine. I lost real bad.
Bronson went hardcore into that game.
Yeah, well, I tried to go in with just missiles and bombs and then realized that my group of people were not missiles and bombs people. So that was a mistake on my part.
I feel like too that's one of those things where if it wasn't just a demo and it was a game that you had and you could look at the different factions and learn, you probably wouldn't have made that mistake.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's a new thing. But the coolest part about that is at the end, he's like, all right, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
And he wants genuine feedback. He doesn't want to be, oh, yeah, that was so much fun. Yeah, get a load of this. This game fucking sucked. It was, what do you think? How do you think we can change it? What do what about this? What about that?
Yeah, like we had a couple issues.
The auto builder thing for the rebel bad guy ship.
Yeah, we had a couple issues, a couple of
exploits.
There were a couple exploits. And then there were a couple of like short sights on my side that made it just kind of like, if this happens in the game, you are gonna get railroaded the entire time. So like they were like, okay, I got to make adjustments for this. And when we were playtesting, we didn't see that, but I know how this faction works, so I would never play like that. But people who were just getting into the game, like now I'm realizing we have to change this and we have to change that. And I don't know, it's really cool to be a part of that. Yeah. It's really cool to, like, when it comes out on Kickstarter, A, kickstart it because it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And B, be like, I helped with that. Like, I was able to help them hopefully come out, like, and if we look at it when it comes out and be like, that one, that's from us.
That's the Joe rule. Well, and we all did sign up to be playtesters for the game. So we are going to get the email and be able to beta test it more and, all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Another cool thing is you got to talk to the folks at Rollercrit.
I did. I was able to chat with them. I tried really hard not to fangirl the whole time because I love Rollercrit. For everyone here who doesn't know who Rollercrit is, they are people who used to be ThinkGeek, and then when ThinkGeek got bought by GameStop, a lot of the people who left went and formed Rollercrit. So it is like the core members of ThinkGeek are Rollercrit, which is why they had like the Bag of Holding 2.0 there, and
I want that bag.
It is such a good bag.
I hate the fact that it's $150.
It is.
Because holy fuck, I want that bag
I know.
so bad.
I know, it's a really good bag. It makes me, every time I think about it, I'm like, but I don't need a bag. And then yet every time I'm like, I should just get the bag.
I'm literally sitting there thinking, I have a fantastic
So behind
backpack,
you, there is,
but I want it.
I don't think you'll be able to reach it, but there is a little bag. It's about yay big, yay tall, and it's got foam in the front. It's on the bottom. I don't think you're gonna be able to reach it. I think it's on the other side. But it is the ThinkGeek portable bag of holding. It is the con bag of holding. So it's literally meant for cons. Yep, there it is. There he is. There's the guy. And I used it for D&D books and D&D sheets for pretty much its whole career. So, yeah, this is the ThinkGeek bag of holding. As you can see, the SDCC 2016.
Yes.
And all the badges are Velcro.
Oh, that's cool.
So you could always...
Here, throw it on the close-up camera.
Yeah, here you go. Sorry for the dust. It's aged. So here is my OG bag of holding. This is the small one. This is the one meant for cons. So this is the one people kind of bring for, or used to bring for the cons, for like buying a book or buying a board game or, whatever you might need. And like you could just grab and Velcro everything on here, and so when you go to cons and stuff, you see they were always giving away patches and stuff. That's what that was for you to stick all your patches in the front.
Oh,
so
okay.
I used this for years with my D&D stuff. So their new bag has even more space, but you can see you got your dice bag. Well, I used to fill this with dice because I'm a goblin, but it had everything I needed to kind of be like portable. It still holds up great. So of course I'm going to say that the new bag of holding is great because this thing got abused and still works great. So, I don't know. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get one, even though I don't. I know I don't need it.
I'm looking at the website, rollacrit.com, for the bag of holding.
There it is back.
And it looks... I want it. And the customization that you could do now with
there's so much
with
stuff.
like different straps and like charms and that kind of shit. Like, it's just so cool.
It went really hard on Kickstarter, so they unlocked a shit ton of items.
Ooh, and it could be both a messenger bag and a backpack.
Yeah. Like I said,
Oh,
they kind of did everything. And they had the little waterproof baggie. You guys will see when we do the interview, she did like the whole rundown of the bag. They are also the developers of one of my favorite board games, Heroes of Barcadia.
And it meets FAA standards for a
Yes.
carry-on.
Yes, they made sure it was carry-on size.
That's so cool.
I love Heroes of Barcadia. They had it there. They actually had the straws, which were new, so I bought the straws. Heroes of Barcadia is a drinking game where your life is tied to your pint glass. So as you take damage, you have to lose health, a.k.a. drink your drink. No, it's way down there. Don't even...
Yeah, I see it there.
So they release straws with the health bars on the straw so that if you are playing the game somewhere else and you only grab the cards, you could go like to a bar or whatever, grab your drinks, play at the bar. Your health is now your straw, so you could still play the game.
Oh, that's
You don't
cool.
need the pint glasses. So that's why I bought the straws, because that was just a really good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you could play basically doubles, like Mario,
Jesus. Like Mario Luigi kind of thing.
well, like Mario Tennis, where like there's two on a team.
Oh, yeah.
I drink, you drink. Here's your straw.
Jesus.
We're the red player, so on and so forth.
So many options.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun. So I got that. But again, really fun. I got stickers from them. Their stickers are so funny.
I love some of the what's the one the Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference?
The gang rolls for initiative.
That might have been my favorite sticker I saw at the con.
Yeah, I bought one, but yes, it was just I laughed really hard, and I was like, "That one, give me that one."
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "If you get two more, you get a fourth one free." Like, can't argue with that pricing.
Free is for me.
But I did get some more games back here. We did do we have a bunch of interviews, which like we said in the beginning, we'll be rolling out. I have to do some heavy editing to add all like the B-roll and stuff. Hopefully the audio came out good. I think it did, but I'm a perfectionist.
There's always a chance.
So hopefully it came good. But I'm really excited for the interviews to come out because all the interviews were really, really cool. All the things we were interviewing was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we kind of got, everybody.
Yep.
Squared out.
We got a media copy of a game.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing that. We're going to probably play it one day on, maybe not on stream, but we're going to play it, record it, and then post it, and then give our, review and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But what else do you want to show off here for the folks at home? And if you're an audio podcast listener, first of all, thank you. But make sure you check us out, YouTube and Twitch as well, Tabletop Trio, and you'll be able to get us and actually see all the pretty stuff that we bought.
Yeah, we'll do a little haul Instagram photo.
Yes,
of Joe's stuff. This one, I'm really sad we didn't get to interview. I saw them late Saturday, and they actually had the actors were actually dressed up
Oh, that's
in like
cool.
in like noir, like gangster. The women were all wearing like the dresses. They had like the fake cigarettes and stuff, and like the long stick things, and they all had fake New York accents. It was hilarious.
Yes,
Um,
especially in Philly.
Yes, right. And so they give you the whole shtick in character about the game.
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
This was a Kickstarter game. It's called The Big Shuffle. It is a film noir card game. It is so simple to pick up, but was so fun to play. So they had a Kickstarter. They ended up getting like 400% on the Kickstarter of what they asked.
Damn.
And then they rolled that right back into the product. So I will show you one of the main reasons I bought it. I did also get the expansion packs it comes with. So it comes with, or it doesn't come with, you have to buy the Above the Law expansion and the Red Light expansion. Each expansion comes with an extra, like a new character card. I think there's 6 character cards to start with. So if you do the 2 expansions, you'll get 8. It also introduces patrolling because, you know, noir. And then the other one introduces board games like poker, blackjack, and roulette. I don't know how it works. We weren't playing it. It just seemed interesting, so I bought them.
We're gonna learn eventually.
Yeah, we'll learn. The reason I bought it, and you could see.
Ooh.
The edges of the cards are glitter red.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and like they
Holy
said, like
cow.
the card stock that they used was like real, like good card stock, and you could feel it. That's like high end card stock. They were like, listen, we went over the Kickstarter, we went over what we were supposed to, but we're gonna push it and like put it right back into the product to make sure that like everyone has a good experience. And then on top of that, we're gonna make sure that our box could fit the 2 expansions right out of the gate so that you don't need a new box. And I was like,
Thank you.
And I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. And then this is the playmat for the game. So you have your midtown, uptown, and downtown. So you didn't need this to play the game. I just thought that it looked cool. And B,
I love the film noir.
I like that
style.
it was actually uptown, midtown, and downtown, like the top of the city, the under of the city, and then like the main street with like the theaters and diners and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that they did the art like that, but it also, for people who don't know, or like my wife is a really good example. You read the instructions, you have no idea what you're doing.
Oh yeah, same.
They make videos on how to play the game and like them playing the game so that you could just go on YouTube, look at it, and then be like, okay, got it. Now I understand how it works. But we ended up playing, with them. It's a short game. It's not a long game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where there's like a ton of ways to win. And just, I don't know, it felt like it was strategic enough that like I could screw you over because everybody has cards in their hand, like +2 or -2, aka your hired guns. So like if you go to move a scene from midtown to uptown to win the game, because you have to line up your set of agenda into midtown.
Oh,
So
okay.
it might be like, the police officer in the police station with whatever, and it's the who, what, where is how you win the game.
Oh, cool.
So you have to line up my agenda to what it is to win. So if you don't like a card, you have to move it either to uptown or downtown.
Okay.
So you'll say like, I want to move that card uptown, and then you need 4. So you have your 4, whatever. You need 3, whatever it is. The next player could be like, I don't want that card to go downtown. I'm gonna hire my goons. -2. Now you can't move the card. But I might actually also want that card moved. So I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to help you out. +2. I'm going to give you a couple of my guys. And that's how the game functions.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's like, it's so simple, yet so not simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I
It's
wanted
as simple
to...
as you can, as
you
want
wanna
to
make
you
it.
want it to be.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back on Sunday. I told him, which sucks because we didn't get there, but I wanted to come back Sunday and basically have them do the whole spiel again, but like on camera for an interview. But then, obviously that didn't happen. But we might still hopefully reach out to them and see if they could do something. Because I really want the game to have some attention because it was a lot of fun, like genuinely a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that was like my new game. I don't know what it is purchase, but I'm gonna buy it because it looks a lot of fun. The other two that I have here,
which you can only see one.
Yeah, you can only see one at the moment. Thanks, new overlay. Were games because one is for me and my wife. It's a 2-player game, and I was absolutely sold on what the guy was talking about. I think you were there for that.
Oh yeah, I was there for that.
Which I will explain in a second. And the other one is because my wife is an absolute whore for this game right now. And they came out with a legacy version, and the box was so shiny and beautiful, I had to buy it. So, there you go. You can see
so pretty.
The entire box is foil or holographic, up to you for what you want to call it. But this is Sagrada. It's usually a dice game where you basically have to put dice into puzzles slots and make sure that you do it in a certain way to get the most amount of points. And you're basically...
It's essentially Sudoku with dice.
Yeah.
With dice and colors without having to do, like, the Sudoku rules.
Yeah. So there are rules, but not those rules. And you're basically... painting stained glass is the gist. Like your dice is like pieces of glass. This is the Sagrada Legacy Edition, and instead of using just dice, it is basically also half coloring book from what I'm understanding. The main pieces, it's 4 players, and it comes with, I think, 8 colored pencils. So you actually are doing puzzles but also with colored pencils. So it's not a dice game only. You are literally drawing. And that kind of goes into the Gloomhaven thing where once you play this game once, you are no longer playing this game anymore.
Yeah.
Which is why they sell the campaign reset, a.k.a. new books.
And the best part is that we walked up like, oh, Sagrada, and you're like, there's a Legacy Edition, and the guy's like, oh yeah,
yeah. You didn't know about the Legacy Edition? I was like, no.
He literally gave you no choice but to buy the entire booth.
He did. He really did. He's just like, you need this one.
Everything up. Oh, you need this. You need this. Here's the expansions. Here's the extension.
Yeah.
Here's the reset kit. Here's this game. Oh, you haven't heard about that game? You got to get this game. Here's this. So it was amazing.
So the other one is Fog of Love. It is a 2-player game, and I was like, he's like, have you heard of Fog of Love? And I'm like, no, never, literally never heard of it before. What's it about? And he goes, it's a 2-player game where you have, 2 people in a relationship, and you could help each other out and, play the game cooperatively and do everything right and, have a good time. Or you could just be the most toxic human being to your partner. Up to you. It's in the game. And I was like, again, you've sold me.
Yeah.
And then love.
Say less. I need this.
Yeah, say less. I'm in. And then the add-on for that one is Fog of Love, Love on Lockdown, which I guess came out during COVID.
It had to. Even reading like the back, it's like, oh, there's a threat to your relationship. And
yeah. So the funny thing about this is after I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. He goes, which one? And I went, whatever do you mean? It seems like there's only one game. And he goes, no, there's multiple covers. I was like, what? Is it like different games? And he goes, well, there's the straight edition, there's the gay edition, And then there's the lesbian edition. You let me know what box art you want. And I was like, oh, I guess we'll do the straight one. I guess, like, that's the one. It's for me and my wife, so it's that one. But, you know, really cool that they have options.
That's
like
really cool that
like,
they're inclusive with that. And it's not just like, oh, here's a game for couples, but like, you know, I'm sure you could pretend it's, you know, it's a gay relationship or what have you. But no, they actually made the cover art to represent the relationship, and that's really cool.
I actually don't know if even in because it might also be the boards.
Oh,
there might be like 2 guys on the boards or 2 women on the board. I don't know. I didn't look because we were in like kind of a
and it's still
a frenzy.
Sealed up.
Yeah, it's still sealed up. Haven't played it yet.
Haven't opened it.
Can't tell you. So those are the board games that I acquired.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that I acquired was, out of all places, cooking stuff.
And not just cooking stuff.
The best cooking stuff.
The most eldritch, ridiculous, freaking awesome cooking stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I don't know if the guy not accidentally. I don't know if the guy intentionally signed my thing, Dan Marino. I didn't look yet. But one of the guys looked like Dan Marino. So I was talking to him for a while. We did an interview with these guys. They were hilarious. And then we were just hanging around the booth because I wanted stuff. So in hanging around the booth, other people started coming to the booth because camera, and then, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know, people.
These guys have a camera. What are these jackasses doing?
Yeah, so people come over. And I was like, I just got it. And he goes, what? I'm like, you look like, I was like, who do you look like? Why can't I? It's Dan Marino. And he just goes, hey. So these guys, they're on Amazon. You can find the books already. He goes, I might sign yours, Dan Marino. And I was like, I think that'd be hilarious. But you can find these books already. They are very popular. While we were interviewing them, they were like, we usually float between 2 and I think 8 on Amazon's like bestseller cookbook list.
Wow.
Except on Halloween, where we beat Snoop Daddy and we become number 1. And I laughed really hard. But the difference is, if you go to one of the cons with them, they will sign the books.
Oh, cool.
So all of my books were signed. The coolest part. So here is the first book I got. It's the Necro Nom Nom Nom. Yeah, let's see if there we go. So the book is gorgeous. It is like bumpy, like holographic, like everything about the book is pretty. Let me see. He did not sign Dan Marino. So one of the guys, so there are 3 dudes. So you have the head chef, who is the guy who looked like Dan Marino. You had the game guy, the guy who did like the marketing and the game and stuff like that. And then you have the third guy, which was their artist. When they were doing their signatures, 2 guys just signed. The artist does, I'll see if I can get it. There you go. Does full-size doodles.
Wow.
On a random page on every book you buy. So
That is so cool.
So this is the first one. I laughed really hard at the recipes that are in here. 'Cause like they're just really funnily named. Like sacrificial lamb, the grape old ones, New England damned chowder.
That's amazing.
Like, you know, the names are really funny, but also they look really good. Like the recipes actually look good. Dining trapahedron, trapsahedron. But like the art is fantastic in these things. Everything about them just screamed fun. Mm-hmm. So that was the first one, was the Necro Nom Nom Nom. Then we have the Necro Munchicon, which is all snack food. Again, beautiful book.
Some evil looking sandwiches.
Yeah. Unspeakable snacks and terrifying treats. So again, 2 signatures from the artist, and then I think this one's on
I
the
think,
back.
yeah, it's on the back page.
So here we go. Yeah, it's like I'm in a show and tell.
It's like a little like Mothman kind of
Yeah.
demonic thing.
So that's another doodle from this one. So this one is all like snack foods and stuff like that. Again, the names are hilarious. The art is fantastic. You know, it's all like your, I'm not going to say your typical stuff, but you know, it's all like ghouly and
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like Mind Flayer Parasite
yeah,
thing.
their
there.
cannoli B1. I said it. So, listen, I didn't even make this one. Bring this tartan delicacy to the slavering. So, I love the sign of Knish. Anyway, a lot of fun. Pick your brain. That makes sense. So that was the last recipe book. Was these 2. The third one that came was the Lovecraft Cocktails.
Ooh.
Again, very pretty book. Very, very pretty book.
And I love how it's all embossed and raised and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
The art on this
that
page
might be my favorite art.
Yeah. He went heavy on this one. And the coolest thing is, like, yeah, he's the artist. I get it. When he was showing us some of the, like, he had like the full book with him, like the sketch pad, I guess, like the big, like, I guess it must have been like a 20 by 32 or something like that.
Damn.
Big sketch pad. And he's like flipping through and he's like, yeah, here's one of the things that like I sketched all pencil, and then flipped to one of the pages in the book where it was like fully like, you know, in there and colored, but like it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so fucking cool. Like that your hand and brain could do that, because mine can't.
What fucked up shit have you seen to make your brain go this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I can think of fucked up shit, but, like, when I go to draw it, it's like, that doodle. So, you know, and then they came out with, I'm going to say hands down, the coolest, whatchamacallit, the cook thing?
Apron?
The apron. There's the word. It is hands down one of my favorite aprons. I had to buy it almost too quickly. I threw my wallet at them. So, yeah. Yeah. So, this is the apron.
Oh, that is so good.
So, it actually comes with a hood. So, it is a hooded apron with their Necronominom nom 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 on it, and it's pretty comfortable, but I just love the hood that goes to nothing.
It's so good. It is absolute, and it's one of those things where I'm picturing that, like, it's dark and stormy, making dinner. Someone walks in, you're just like, I've been expecting you. Covered in blood because you're dealing with like some kind of like really like
turkey
or yeah, like, you know, it's so good.
So I you know, I had to buy it. As someone, they were like,
4M watches you look both metal and wise.
yes, I am neither of those things. So I love the whole concept about it. When we walked over there, this is not one of our interviews that were supposed to be set. But they were like, we were like, would you guys want to do an interview real quick? And they were like, sure, what's your podcast about? And I'm like, we do anything you could do on a table. It's kind of our shtick. But like also we do cooking episodes because we love cooking. We love D&D stuff. Realistically, you're in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, like literally everything you do, we do.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, yeah, absolutely, let's do that. So it ended up perfect. And I think these guys are out in Pennsylvania. I don't think they're that far out. The only thing that I'm sad I couldn't get a hold of was these guys sell rum. They have their own rum, and it was being sold in the Reading Terminal Market, right?
Yes.
And I wanted to grab it. I was going to grab it on Sunday. Again, didn't get there Sunday. So I'm going to have to find it on the internet because they sold rum, and I love rum. So I have to get some rum. But I love everything about these. The books are really cool. I love that they signed everything. They were signing it on the spot, which is why it took so long. We were kind of just loitering because, yeah, to sign 2 things goes quickly. But then you have a guy literally like doodling a whole sketch on every book that you buy from them. So it ended up like, you got to wait like 10, 15, 20 minutes while you wait for him to kind of finish your sketch. But, while we were there, we were kind of making a commotion and laughing a bunch. So people kept coming up, and then like other people started buying stuff. So they ended up like, they threw in a couple pins for us and like a little badge for us from them, which is really cool.
I was looking to see where you can buy their rum, but I got as far as their Amazon listing, and I was looking at their art.
Yeah. And that's as far as we got.
They have something called Kuth or Cthulhu. Instead of Couscous, it's Cthulhu.
Yes, it's Kuth. I think it's in one of the other. Yeah, anyway. Fantastic book. It's just... Yeah.
It's so good. I think this might have been... I love all of the hot sauce shows that we go to.
Yes.
But this might have been the most fun one we've done, save for my back pain.
Yeah. So, well, on top of that, so once you left on Saturday, we walked around for a little bit. We went with these guys. We met these guys for the big shuffle, and then we kind of like circled back. We had like a couple hours, but we already kind of walked everywhere that we were gonna walk for today. So we ended up meeting with a couple, like a group of friends, and we ended up playing a couple board games. So in the PAX arena, they had like pretty much, I'd say about half, a little less than half, was all vendors. Board games, dice, trading cards, minis, you name it, it was there.
Yeah.
If it didn't have an outlet attached to it and it was a game, it was there.
Yeah.
But then they also had like a whole Pokemon tournament section. They had a whole Magic tournament section. They had a Pokemon booth. They had a Magic booth. They had a game library. So they had a board game library where you could actually check out games.
That's so cool.
Like a library, play them in the board game area, and then check them back in.
That's awesome.
So like that's what they were doing with the group that we were with. They were checking out games in and out to play. So the vending side of PAX, this is something that I did not know going in.
I didn't know that either.
So
this is the second year I went, and I had no clue that existed.
So the vending side of PAX starts same time as the other side of PAX, which I think was like 9:30, somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
However, the vending side closes at 6, and then the non-vending side goes until like midnight or like 12:30 or like something insane. So you could like rent out all these board games and the tournaments and all this other stuff and play clear through the vending side of PAX. So that was a really cool thing that I didn't know, because when you looked at like the hours of PAX, you just see it's 9:30 to like 12:30, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess it's like the whole time. I didn't realize it was basically 2 different types of PAX.
Yeah.
So that was like a really interesting thing that is kind of cool, but also something I have to remember for next time, was that we're not going to be there. You have basically for us, we had until 6, because then we had to go back up. We had to grab our media stuff, like our jackets and stuff that was up there, because the very nice lady in the media credential area was like, if you don't get your media stuff out by 6:30, I need to know what, because we had to like sign up where our media stuff is. I need to know what it is and where it is so that I could sell it on eBay at 7. And I laughed really hard.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
She was great. She was so nice.
So nice. So, that's a thing that I didn't even think to realize because I was like, oh, yeah, we're there the whole time. It's media, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, you are at a time limit. And then you have to go, I guess, check in your coats like everyone else if you want to stick around for the board game side of like just playing board games or going into a tournament or stuff like that. So we don't have any coverage. We weren't live covering like the tournaments or anything like that. We were there for the vending side, and like we do have like sweeping shots of like everyone playing games and stuff like that. There were a ton of tables where people were just playing games. I have a couple really stupid shots that I took, like little quick videos.
Stupid is always good.
It was just me giggling to myself and taking like a 30-second video. You guys will find them, I promise. But it was so much fun and was so different than anything I've ever done before.
Yeah. What would you say was your standout, this was the coolest part of PAX?
Ooh, I don't know, because there's so many different, like, the game, seeing how many games, because, like, even if you think you know a lot of board games, you don't. There are so many there that you've never heard of. There are so many things there that you've never heard of. Like I said, we were basically alpha testing a game, so like couldn't have even known that one existed.
Yeah, right.
It's just there was so much to do. So I guess that's one of them, is just like there is so much to do. Like literally, so there's got to be something for everyone. If you are a board game anything, would be the one of them. And then I guess like the community would be a big one. Like learning about the board game community from all the people that we talked to, and realizing that it's not like a bunch of like, oh, this is the game we made because we like money. It was like, this is the game we made because we really, really enjoy it and this world and this thing we built, and we want to share it with people.
Yeah.
So that was I think that's probably my two.
I think for me was kind of like you said, just the sheer amount of stuff there. But I think one of the standout vendors for me, and we never got a chance to get back to chat with them, but there is a app called Pocket Bard.
Yes.
Where essentially, as a DM, you can sit there and change music on the fly. And they had their own people record their own music, and you can up the intensity, you can set the scene, the stage, whether in the swamp or the city or the bar or, in the middle of the show. It was seamless.
Yeah.
Like,
it was.
And there was a whole slider, so you could be like, all right, this is kind of a, it's not really that intense. You're just hanging out in this, okay, here's la da 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 da, and now you're in the middle of a fight, and it's like,
yeah,
it was so cool.
All seamless transition was the thing that blew my mind. Was, no, like there are apps that do that, like, it exists, but they compose all of their music. So the fact that they were able to, like, you pull the slider and then all of a sudden it, like, there's no hiccup, there's no glitch, you could very clearly see or hear, like, where it becomes
the song
smoothly different. And it was so cool. And, like, the fact that you could change the music and then put sound effects in there, and the sound effects are seamless and, like, just really well put together. I remember seeing it like a year or so ago and thinking like, wow, that's something I should probably try to use for D&D stuff, because that's really useful. And then I think I forgot about it because there's so much other stuff I got. But I gotta roll back into that one because it just works so well. I just hope it works with my my Sonos stuff, so that way I could just play it on all the speakers.
That would be so cool because, with our campaign that we're in right now, your wife is using a lot more technology than I've been used to for playing games.
Yeah.
Because you have, like, the whole TV stand and, doing everything on the computer and all that. Like, yeah, that's so cool. And I feel like that could be, like...
So
the next.
it's everything that I wanted to use, but I was too lazy to ever finish it. But you know how it goes. If you ever wanted to use something, just have the person you love want to use it, and then all of a sudden it'll work. So I finished the table, and I got the Sonos working, and I got everything else working so that she could DM, even though I never used it when I was DMing because I was always too lazy.
So I just looked at the app,
Mm-hmm.
and on the iPhone, unless there's in-app purchases, which there are in-app purchases,
Free to use?
it is free to use.
I thought so.
So that could be an option for me to download. So I might have to check that out. Pocket Bard. But yeah, that was really, really cool.
Yeah. I think the game that I was interested in the most, outside of the ones that I already know existed, when we did, or I think I ended up doing the interview for Distilled. That was a really interesting game. And then they had another new game developed that's coming out like really soon, which was like the same concept, but with different items. So Distilled is you make a recipe and a type of alcohol like gin or vodka or whatever. You are making it. Like you have your recipe and you have your logo and all that other stuff, and you play the game to like make your drink and make it good, and you know that's the whole concept. Everybody else has their own. The really cool thing with that is they have a builder on their website where you could actually make your own like recipe and your own logo and your own everything, print it out, and then put it into the game.
Oh, that's cool.
So you could like literally customize it, which was already cool. But then that happened.
Yeah.
The new game that they were testing that we talked about was same concept, except it's instruments. So you're building your instruments. So, you know, you're building your violin, what strings, what kind of wood, this kind of stuff. And it's the same concept of a game, but with instruments. And I thought it was just such a cool concept. That like they're putting the learning behind it. They said they did like a ton of research to figure out like, you know, so it's actually real instead of just like you put the wood in the thing.
Wood plus metal equals violin.
Yeah. Like, so it seemed really interesting. I didn't get a chance to play test it. But I was very interested with that. It just, I don't know, it was so different. But I mean, that's a lot of PAX. There were so many things we were talking and like looking at. We were like, wow, that's so different. And like, wow, that's also so different.
Yeah. Man, I am so bummed that I was injured for that, because everything you're talking about and seeing the different vendors and talking to them, like,
yeah, you were in and out. Yeah, I think I saw them. They were the last interview with us at on Saturday. So that was 4 was our last interview with them.
Yeah.
So I think it was like right after, about an hour or so after you left.
Yeah.
So overall, the show was fantastic. I wish we were there for the last day, but hopefully we'll be there next year.
Yes.
So what happened was
everyone broke.
yeah, everyone broke. Bob became very injured, but you were normal injured.
To the point where Friday night, I was laying on the floor and physically could not get off the ground.
So there was that. I was like, yeah, we'll go to Rite Aid. We'll pick up some. What did I get you? Not Icy Hot.
Yeah, it was Icy Hot with lidocaine.
Oh, with lidocaine. I was like, you can't be in pain if you just can't feel it. It's lidocaine. So we were. That was turns out there was more pain than what lidocaine could deal with. And then we rolled back in.
Lidocaine allowed me to shower that night.
No,
that was pre-shower.
That was pre-shower. We rolled in.
Live PD got me.
We rolled in again Saturday. You were feeling worse.
Oh my god.
We put another patch on. We were like, we'll see if we can just get you in. And at that point, I was like, maybe we can get you a scooter because standing is pain. So maybe we can get you a scooter.
Yeah, because my issue was it was fine if I was sitting.
Right.
It was standing and walking around was all the pain in my lower back. And because I had pain in my lower back, I was walking wrong like an idiot. So I hurt my hip and I hurt my groin. So every time I walked, my abs would like cramp and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So Joe's like, all right, we'll get you a scooter.
Yeah. So we go there and I'm like, all right, I'll go to the info booth. We need a scooter. They're like, well, there aren't any. And I'm like, what do you mean? The website says you guys have accessibility things here. There are scooters. And they go, well, yeah, but UPS has them. And UPS is closed. I was like, why does UPS have the scooters for the convention center? That doesn't make any sense at all.
And the guy's like, you're right.
I found the scooters. They were right outside the UPS. It was like a couple hours later. We were walking around. There was just like curtains. And then right behind the curtains was just a bunch of scooters. But I guess it was right next to the UPS. So I'm assuming they had the keys. So they're just there taunting us. I was like, what assholes. I could have hotwired it. How complicated could those keys be?
They're not.
Yeah, so that was that. So Bob ended up leaving at like what, 3:30?
It's like 2:30, something like
yeah.
that. Because I would go out, do an interview, come back up,
Yeah.
rest for like 20, 25 minutes, go out for another 20-minute walk kind of thing, meet up
Yeah.
with you guys, see what's going on, go back. And it was
Yeah.
one of those, it was just too much back and forth.
Yeah. So you ended up bailing. Then I was there until close. Hopped on the train. Well, attempted to hop on the train.
Attempted to get on the train.
So I was walking back to 8th and Market to get onto the Patco train so that I can go back, so that he could pick me up, so that I can go back to my parents. So I'm walking straight, just like Google says. I get all the way down to, I guess, where Market is. And as I'm walking towards Market, I hear a lot of commotion. Like, a lot of commotion. And I am really confused. Then I see a thing roll by. And then I hear a marching band. And I was like, all right, now I'm confused. Why do I hear a marching band? Walk up to Market, calling him, like video calling him.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hear him because I don't have any headphones. But I'm like, Bob, I think I have a problem. And then video call, flip it around. There's a fucking parade. I walked into a parade.
It was the Philadelphia Holiday Parade.
Yeah, I didn't know. So I had to reverse the parade or fast forward the parade because I had to get to 8th and I wasn't on 8th. I think I was on like 12th or 13th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to fast forward the parade, try to find how to get on the other side of the parade because the train station was on the other side of the road. So I had to go keep walking down. I think I went to like 7th or 6th or possibly 5th until I found a break in the parade where they were letting people crosswalk.
Oh my God.
So I ran across and then I had to rewind the parade so that I could get back to 8th and then go back down. I was so confused.
Oh my God.
But there were so many Jeep Gladiators that were filled with Christmas lights. So that made me, that made me
It was
feel real
impressive,
good.
honestly.
Yeah. That was really, it was just funny. That was just icing on the cake.
Mhm.
And then I got home and then my wife messaged me that she was violently ill with like honestly the worst food poisoning I've ever personally seen someone get.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, do you need me to come home? Like that seems bad. That seems like it's been at least 6 hours. Do you need me to be home? To which the answer was yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove all the way home, and then I was up until like 3, 4, 5. I don't even remember anymore. So I was like, yeah, we're not doing PAX on Sunday because I gotta be here now. And then Bob was like, I'm okay with that. I don't know if I could walk.
Yeah. I saw your text and I'm like, okay, good. I can't feel bad for skipping tomorrow because I was probably going to skip Sunday anyway.
Yeah.
So we did that. So on my side of things on Sunday, we stayed at my girlfriend's house and we're talking. She's like, oh, I need to get lotion. I'm like, all right, I think I can survive a trip to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the mall, we get lunch, go to the one Mexican joint in the mall. Fucking love that place.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to Bath and Body Works. Walking around for a little bit, and all of a sudden my back's like, no.
You shouldn't have done that.
So I'm like, oh God. So I hobble my way to like sit in one of those massage chair kind of things. And of course, some guy has to come in and sit right next to me when there's 3 others like around us.
Yeah, but you're in your one.
Had to sit next to me. So I plop down, she comes out, and we're walking back, and I'm just having a hard time. Like, I had a hard time even getting into the car, like walking around. Like, it was worse than
I was gonna say you were already having a hard time getting in the car.
It was worse.
Wow.
So I spent the rest of the day. This is like noon at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the day, crouched over on my side like this on the couch.
Just being like a fish.
It was bad. And even like getting up for lunch and everything, still doing the icy hot, still doing the ibuprofen, like all that kind of thing. My body's just like,
nothing.
No.
Yeah.
And then Monday I woke up and I'm like, oh, I feel much better.
Hey, we take it.
X-rays and blood work later. We'll see.
Yeah. I love that while I was there waiting, I was carrying on my backpack. I had everything. So, you know, I had my backpack. I had the little clip. I had the other clip so that I, was dispersing the weight. But
And not just your shoulders.
yeah, but I was carrying a backpack for several hours. So my back hurt. So I was like, Ange, can you do the thing with my spine? And she's like, yes, I'd love that. I lay on the floor and she just pushes and you just hear like, and me just go, straight again. I can feel it.
And at one point she's like, was that a good noise or a bad noise? You're like, very good.
I just said yes. It was funny too because I was like, I think my back feels like I have scoliosis. Like I feel like I have a hunchback. And she goes to push it. She goes, wow, yeah, I can feel it. And then you hear a large snap followed by, there it is.
It was like listening to popcorn at the movie theater.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But we survived.
We did survive PAX.
I love our little setup. I love the little Rode mics on the go. Makes recording really good. It's one of those things where as we go, we you're constantly learning, constantly evolving. And
this isn't even our final form.
Yeah. I like that every time we do something, there's just like that one piece or that one something that we needed that kind of made it just easier.
Mm-hmm.
This roll around was the monopod tripod.
Yeah, because think about it, Boston was the stick mics.
Mm-hmm.
Philly was the table setup.
Yeah.
Saucetoberfest was the whole kit and caboodle with cast iron and full slice.
Yep.
And now this was the monopod.
Yeah.
What's Boston going to look like for us next year?
Actually,
it's going to be
that. According to Kyle, it's gonna be nuts.
I am so excited for that.
Yeah.
But also, you could tune in next week. We're not going to be doing a live show next week.
No.
For other reasons. But this weekend, we're going to my neck of the woods.
Yes.
And we're going to meet my dad. My dad is a cobbler who does shoe repair cuts, keys, sharpens knives, sews and fixes luggage, handbags, backpacks. You name it, he does everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch him fix Joe's shoe.
Hopefully. I don't know if they're in really bad shape. I just feel like they are. They're like... See, okay, here's the thing about the shoes. They're my favorite dress shoes, but they're dress shoes. So I probably wear them 3 to 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
But when I wear them, I abuse them because I'm usually hammered.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, I could even have him show you how to polish your shoes.
yeah, which I don't do probably correctly at all. If at all. No, I've polished them once.
You'll see the whole setup.
Yeah.
He's got ancient machinery. That's like
Which I love.
heavy duty shit.
Yeah.
Like when you meet my dad, look at his hands.
It's probably like my dad.
This man's hands are so calloused.
Yeah.
I have literally watched him stick his hand into a fire and pick up a log that is on fire and just toss it.
Mm.
The man's insane. So
I'm excited.
you all are going to be meeting him at some point very soon.
We are going ham on this one.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying a few different things on this one that we've ever done before. I'm bringing out the shotgun mic, which I don't think we've ever had to use.
No.
But I think that would be a good spot for it. I think we're gonna try to do a heavier ASMR style video of him kind of just working through the process with like just zoned in microphones.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna learn how keys are cut.
Yes.
And the really cool way and how primitive it is to cut and copy a key, but how like millimeter accurate it has to be. We're going to learn about that, learn about sharpening knives. You're going to learn about the nibbler. My dad is actually going to set aside work that he would do on Saturday to do it on Sunday with us. So he's got a few things he's going to show us there, all of his different tools and machines and
that's fun.
all that kind of stuff. So it's going to look really cool.
I'll have
and you get to see a shit ton of baby photos of me. Because
that's what everyone's here for.
He's like every old school Italian business.
Oh, just has your family everywhere.
Family literally covering the entire wall.
Family.
You get to watch me grow up in Little League pictures. It's gonna be a thing.
Fantastic. I'll bring my really good knife that I know needs to get sharpened, but hasn't sharpened it yet because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, no, he will do that and he'll show you how to do it.
Well, that's good. Because that's something I really need to learn how to do.
And he's got the whole wheel and like.
Oh, he's got everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna bring everything. That's gonna be a really fun episode, and then that'll play on Wednesdays. So yeah, we won't be here Wednesday. I'll be getting my nose fixed.
Joe's getting a nose job,
You know, Elena was like, I swear to God, if they touch the outside of your nose and it looks different, I'm fighting someone. So when I was at the doctor, and they were like getting ready for like to tell me about everything, I was like, is my nose going to change shape or anything like that? And they go, no, we're not touching any part of that of your nose. Like, you're fine. It's going to look exactly like how it is now. And I was like, okay, you're safe.
Yes. That's amazing.
So, but yeah, no, we'll be back on the 20th. That will be the day where I'm getting the stuff out of my nose. So that should be like a whole new me. I wonder if my voice is going to change.
Oh, maybe.
Because air.
Yeah. Oh God, you're going to come back and be like, hey.
I was going to say, what if I get like a deeper voice because my nose works?
Holy shit.
I don't know.
That'll be weird. But yeah, so we're going to do that. And then when we come back on the 20th, it'll be a cooking episode.
Yes.
But me behind the counter.
Do you want the hood?
I might. I might. I might. I'm going to be making my favorite appetizer That'll go great for the holidays if you're doing anything for Christmas, Christmas Eve, even New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally the perfect appetizer, or hell, even game day.
Yeah.
Like you have some friends coming over, boom, whip this out, takes half an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so if you like cheese,
Who doesn't?
you're going to love this. So that'll be cool. And I feel like it's a pretty good jumping off point for us tonight.
Yeah.
As always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Everyone in the chat as well for checking us out. If you missed anything today, you can check us out, tabletoptrio.com, and all of our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere you find podcasts. It's all going to be right here down below. So for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been Tabletop Trio Podcast. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And we'll be back with you soon.
Bye.